Once the symbol of military service and royal duty, Prince Andrew has now become the embodiment of scandal, excess and tone-deaf entitlement. He's not the first Duke of York to be in that position. Of course, I'll come back to that later in another video, I think. His undoing, we can now say with confidence, is not merely moral or reputational or tone-deaf entitlement, it's financial. The thread that connects the Epstein disgrace for both him and his ex-wife, the lavish hotel bills, his defiance over Royal Lodge, is money, money, money. The pursuit of luxury without accountability and the illusion that status is a form of immunity. And the latest revelations about Andrew's 2017 trip to Thailand, which I think are in the Times today, illustrate or illuminate a pattern. When representing Britain at the cremation of the king, the Thai king, King Bhumibol Aduladej. Have I got that pronunciation right? I don't know. He rejected the British Embassy's perfectly suitable accommodation and instead booked almost an entire floor of the Mandarin Oriental, a bill approaching £50,000. Paul Scully, then a trade envoy, called it what it was, a sense of entitlement. This was not an isolated act. The former trade envoy confirms that Andrew routinely refused embassy lodgings, preferring luxury hotels even on humanitarian or trade missions. In Vietnam in 1999, he stayed at the Hilton, but only after an embassy official was dispatched at public expense to test the hotel. The symbolism is brutal. Where others saw public duty, he saw personal indulgence. His appetite for long-haul travel earned him the nickname Air Miles Andy. From 2001 to 2010, as the UK's Special Representative for Trade and Investment, he turned an ostensibly diplomatic post into a vehicle for cultivating wealthy contacts in Asia and the Gulf, and these contacts later became the financial scaffolding of his post-royal life. It's telling that Andrew Loney, the biographer, notes lots of private trips to Thailand during those years, trips that blurred the line between public service and private gain, and this ambiguity has haunted him ever since, particularly after his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein revealed the darker side of those business networks. Today, stripped or having shed titles and subsidies, Andrew remains in Royal Lodge, a 30-room mansion within the Windsor estate. His brother, the King, cut off financial support last year, urging him to downsize to Frogmore Cottage, and yet Andrew refused. How? Because he has somehow secured legitimate funding to maintain his residence and private security, costing roughly £3 million a year. Some estimates have suggested £6 million. The origin of that money is opaque. His only official income is a naval pension. His known assets include the sale of Sunning Hill Park to a Kazakh oligarch's son-in-law for $15 million, $3 million above the asking price, and a Swiss chalet sold under pressure in 2022. The transaction trails are legitimate on paper, but the pattern is troublingly familiar: sudden liquidity, opaque benefactors, and an absence of oversight. It's impossible to discuss Andrew's money without recalling Epstein. The financier not only introduced him to wealthy contacts, but normalized a culture of transactional friendship, wealth in exchange for proximity to royalty. The moral corrosion was complete by the time Andrew agreed to settle Virginia Giuffre's civil claim for an undisclosed multi-million sum in 2022. That payment and the private loans that reportedly preceded it illustrate a grim irony. Andrew's finances are both his armour and his vulnerability. His dependence on wealthy patrons exposes him to suspicion, and yet without them his royal lifestyle collapses. He's a prince in name only, but a debtor in every other sense. The battle over Royal Lodge encapsulates his undoing. It's a gilded fortress of denial, a mansion too large, too costly, too steeped in past privilege to be defended in modern Britain. While Charles attempts to slim the monarchy and align it with public expectations, Andrew stands as its most anachronistic figure, clinging to an inherited lease, financially insulated and morally bankrupt. His refusal to move to Frogmore Cottage, once home to Harry and Meghan, adds an extra layer of absurdity. The disgraced brother of the king insisting on grandeur that the working royals themselves abandoned. It's not a scandal of sex or politics now, but of proportion. Andrew's undoing is not simply that he spent too much, but that he spent as if accountability were beneath him. His luxury hotels, opaque finances, obstinate residency are all symptoms of a deeper ailment. the conflation of personal worth with financial display. In a world where monarchy survives only by moral example, Andrew has become the cautionary tale. His indulgence is the mirror image of his downfall. Once money was the means to maintain dignity, now it is the evidence of its loss. If history remembers him at all, it will not be for naval service or trade diplomacy, but for the price tag attached to his downfall. Prince Andrew's story has become the parable of modern royalty, how inherited wealth and status, untempered by humility, breed not respect but resentment. He may cling to Royal Lodge until 2078, but his real eviction from public respect, from moral authority, from royal relevance, has already taken place. His undoing, like his spending, is self-inflicted. The price of entitlement, it turns out, is everything.